I just cannot get these medications right and have everything that I need to do on time. How can I prioritize? Hi, my name is Alonzo Clark. I am an LVN, recent grad LVN, who's been on an ortho neurosurgical unit for the past 3 months. So I'm pretty new. I want to share with you all, for those who are new grad nurses or are interested into getting med surg, on how to prioritize your time. I have a great resource that I use on a daily basis that I created that has helped me so far in my ortho neuro journey. Bruh. I will put the resource down in the description below, or you have any questions on what I usually do in regards of using this resource on particular shifts that I do work, let me know in the comments. Thus being said, here's the resource on the side of the screen, and just follow along with me step by step, and I'll show you what I could do during the time when I am working using this resources. So let's start. So first and foremost, before I begin showing you all what I do with this particular resource that I created, I want to let you all know that I come in, clock in, get myself together, get my stuff together, get my pens, get my resources together that I created, print them out. And usually the facility that I work at, they have a particular assignment sheet. And so you'll get an assignment sheet, which I'm not going to show too much in detail of what it looks like. However, it has all the different types of extensions that the nurses and the CNAs have and the particular rooms that you're assigned to. After I get that sheet, then I will get all my resources together to get the report. And currently I've been using this type of nurse brain sheet that they call, that has been helping me so far, but I do want to try a particular nurse brain sheet that another nurse used on the floor that I work at. So I'm going to give this a try to see if it works out for me. I like how organized it is, and it works when it's time to give report to a different nurse. Other than that, this is the medication brain sheet or scheduler that I am going to work with you all. So stay with me. And if you made it to the video this far, like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, keep watching the video. Other than that, let's begin. First and foremost, we're going to look at everything that we have in front of us from the nurse brain sheet that I mentioned to you all. So we're going to look at the data. I don't even want to call it the data because it's not really like data, but it technically is. So I usually look at the numbers or the room numbers that I have. And as you can see in the block, it says room, pound, ampersand. I think that's ampersand, right? Pound. Ampersand is a little and thing that you see on the M&Ms, right? Anyways, so I will write the room number in that block. So say, for example, as I have this old sheet, this assignment sheet, the numbers that I had are 13, 15, 19, 28, and 30. So I will write those numbers down. I usually personally write them in numerical order, but you can write it however it works for you. But for me, numerical order works. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do 13, 15, 19, 28, and 30. Okay. Then I'll look on the assignment sheet, look at my extension. So I'll put my extension number in the block in that corner, the left corner. And then I will put in the break. Usually the break nurse will come and ask you what time you want your break to be. But 9 times out of 10, sometimes there's no break nurse. I won't say 9 times out of 10. It's 50-50 most of the time. So the charge nurse will come and ask you when you want your break, and I write the break in this block right here. Then I'll write the team RN. The team RN is what my facility usually use for LVNs to team up with RN to look at the charts and make sure everything is done correctly after all the work has been mostly done, except when it comes to medicating IV medications and listening to breath sounds. Based off your scope of practice, definitely follow what your scope of practice state protocols are. But according to my facility in the state that I currently live in, I cannot auscultate lung sounds and I cannot administer IV medications. Other than that, let's proceed. So you see in the top, you see it has CNA on there. So I will put in the CNA extension. You can put the name if you're trying to learn the CNA's name. But most of the time, I got most of the CNAs down packed. So I'll just put the extension down. All right, and I'm just gonna put like numbers for right now, just to show you all and to save time. Then it's time to look into the patient's chart. What you see allergies, code, status, and precaution. What I usually do, I look at their allergies. If they have allergies, put yes or no. I'm gonna put yes for the sake. Code status, we're gonna put DNR. If they're full code, comfort care, DNR, DNI, put that in this area. Precaution, say if they have the flu or they have a particular illness, they're most likely are prone to being autoimmune. You're going to put the particular precaution here. Now, everyone is a fall risk precaution, so you don't have to put fall risk precaution, but you're learning that all patients are fall risk. By all means, you can put that there, but to save yourself some time and space, just put the precaution that really is going to help you before you walk into that room. So for this one, we're going to put contact precaution. Then you're going to look into the orders. What I usually do is look into the orders to see if they're Q4 vitals or Q12 vitals. So I will circle that. And then I will see if they're neuro checks, and then I will circle that. Now, there are specific types of vitals and specific types of neuro checks that has to be done. So based off the specificity of the order that the doctor wants, I would definitely write it in the blocks that you will see below. So no worries. At 1800, that's the time where I will be receiving a report, and it takes about 30 to 45 minutes, depending on what is the severity of the patient at hand. So once I get everything done with the other nurse during the report, after the report, I will check off to look at the vital signs in the labs. So once I completed that task, I'll check it off. So let's check it off. Then the whiteboard that has to be done, during your, I won't say admission process, which it does have to be done during your admission process. And that'll be a whole nother video of admission checklists that I do use in regards of when new patients come during my shift. Other than that, I'll just check off the whiteboard when I'm doing my assessment in the room. But this is a great resource or a great reminder to remind myself, oh, I need to update the board when I'm doing my head-to-toe assessment. Then I will also look at my brain sheets or also in the chart to see when the IV was placed and if it needs to be replaced, because every 72 hours, based off the particular facility that I work at, their policy is every 72 hours it needs to be changed. So definitely make sure you put that down, put the date down here. That's what I do when it's placed. And then you will also put if it needs to be replaced or not. Now I have a little space right there to have any additional notes. If, say for example, the CNA calls like, oh, hey, blah, 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 is in this pain, I will put, okay, room 13 is pain is 9 out of 10. So that reminds me, okay, when I go in that room, I will assess the pain level again and prepare to get that particular pain medication before I go grab the meds that is necessary. Then I will look into the MAR and I will put in all the medications that are needed. So for instance, say at 1900, a doxycycline is needed. So instead of writing doxycycline, I will put 1 PO. Now, if it's an IV medication, I will put, based off how many medications is needed, I will put 1 IV NSAID, IV piggyback at 75 milliliters per hour. So I will let my team nurse know, hey, this IV medication is needed at this particular time for this patient, and give them a quick little synopsis rundown of the patient before they go in the room themselves to administer that medication. Other than that, I still write the medication down as a reminder so I know that the medication is still given and that I'm not letting my team nurse down, because at the end of the day, it's both our license on the line. Now, if you see, as you can see, there's an MD pound, MD number, and AT. And I will go over AT in a little bit, but MD number is if the particular person is on a surgical team, I'll write their extension down, or if that particular doctor who happens to be on call that particular night, I will write either their extension down or the primary hospitalist number, which is a number that the facility that I work at has. I believe it's like 4 different digits. So I will write that down. Or sometimes I will just write the doctor's name. So when I am trying to contact the doctor, I will have like, hey, this particular patient, doctor is attending da 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 da. And then that particular call line will be like, oh, okay, well, this doctor is on call tonight. He will call you back, or she will call you back. So it's very helpful to have it on top instead of going back in the chart saying, oh, okay, who doctor is this that this patient has? Thus said, look at 800. Now, mind you, if you work in a day shift, you can change it how you want to. I have the numbers, the dates, the time, at the time based off night shift, because I work night shifts. So 8 o'clock, 2000, there's a deadline for 2030. That deadline is a reminder for me. It's like a little small note stating that, hey, you need to finish your assessments by this time, and they need to be charted by this time or before this time. So it's a little reminder. It's based off of the facility's protocols too. So it's a reminder for myself. Then I'll continue to write the medication that is needed, or if they need, they need ice, etc., etc. Now, as you can see, there's bold Q4s. Based off the vitals or the neuro checks or both, I will circle the Q4 and write vitals or Q4. Q4 neuro checks. Now, say I circle the Q4, we're gonna circle it. And in the borders, there are Q4 neuro checks. So I'll put neuro. And then I'll specifically write what type of neuro check needs to be done, which they're based off the system that I use, which is Cerner. There is a checklist, but sometimes there's not a checklist. So I still look in the orders to see what type of neuro check needs to be done. So for instance, say at 2300 Q4 neuro checks, the patient needs to be checked. Their neuro checks of their cap refills, the left lower extremity, and to see if they have edema or not. So I would definitely put that in that section to remind me, hey, there's a cue for a neuro check of the left lower extremity that's needed at that particular time. Then I also have a little reminder that says chart time. That's for me to like get everything together, make sure all my ducks in a row, and start crunching down, charting my assessment as much as possible. If I'm missing some things, correcting them, and still at the same time rounding, because our facility rounds every hour, and as nurses at the facility I'm at, we're round every even hour. So at 2300, I won't be doing my round until the next hour at midnight. And here, the midnight, you'll see the I's and O's and BM. So I need to make sure that my patient is peeing well, peeing frequently, and also if they had a bowel movement within the shift. Super important. Back to the AT. That is a reminder of letting me know, okay, hey, this is the time when the assessment is done. For me, that's an abbreviation of assessment time. It's not a little medical term, but it's, once again, my resource. So you guys have questions on how I abbreviate things, definitely let me know in the comments. But AT means assessment time. So I write the assessment time so it helps me know while I'm charting, I don't have to keep going back, scrolling back all the way up to the top of the chart. Like, oh, okay, this is where I had most of my assessments at, because you want your assessment to be in the same time frame, and you don't want it on your charting to look scattered. So it's more of an organization thing for myself. And I like how this resource, I try to keep it all on one page. So just in case something happens, I can write some notes on the bottom or on the back. Now, a resource that I used to use, and I'll show you guys right here. I used to use this resource. It was a front and back resource. And at the time I still use it, but it was just too much. It was too much going on. And I find myself always flipping back over and over like, oh, okay, I did assessment this time, and right on the back. And there's times I mix match the medication. I didn't give the wrong medication, but then I had to like keep double checking the chart. Like, oh, okay, I put the meds for 13 in the other section, so I need to swap them over or mark it out, and it just got really, really messy. As you can see, for example, right here, this is my hot mess, which, I can definitely say is very helpful. I put the doctor's name, the assessment time. Oh, and if the patient speaks a different language, I do write it in here. I don't have it on the new resource that I made, but it is a note that I just write on top just in case I need to know, okay, hey, I need to call interpretive services before I walk in that room. Be ready to go, because calling the interpretive services, it can take a while, and if you're not ready, that's just 5 minutes wasted when you can just be in and out in 10, besides staying there for 15, 20 minutes. You gotta think, just being proactive. After all, this resource is supposed to help you have a game plan of what you're gonna do when it comes to providing the best care for your patients. And other than that, that's all that I have for you guys today. I wanted to share with you all what really helps me, because I am someone that overthinks, and I'm sure many of you all, especially new grad LVNs, some of your personalities could be a little bit different. Some people, they can write a small checklist and go with that. But for me, with my personality type, I like organization. And so this gives me a peace of mind. Yes. Other than that, thank you for subscribing, liking, and comment, and watching this segment. I hope to look for you all in the future, and definitely let me know what else you want to know. about what I do.